Welcome to the RSP Film Room. I'm Matt Waldman with the Rookie Scouting Portfolio. We're going to take a look at Ainias Smith, top of the screen here, top right. Runs his curl route with a little double move embedded with it against Alabama. Makes a nice catch. Let's break this down because there's a lot of fun stuff with this particular play. First, he runs at the defender right there. He's running towards the defender's toes. So he's getting to the defender's toes. Defender's playing off but looking back towards the quarterback and the receiver so he can key on the quarterback and receiver at the same time. So what Smith does is he sees that the defender's giving Smith his back. And so Smith takes the back of the defender, forces the defender to turn away so that he can't look at the quarterback and the receiver at the same time. And then he sells the double move. And this is nice because he gives a nice hard head fake, kind of drops his weight a little bit. Now the defender isn't buying it completely, which is good because what he's actually doing is having the defender basically say, okay, I'm on to your double move, you're going deep. When Smith actually is using the double move to sell the intermediate route, because then he comes back and after the defender starts to work hip to hip and accelerate downfield, that's when Smith uses the head fake and drops his weight and then accelerates out of his break back to the ball. Good route depth, comes back to the ball, slides well before the first down marker there, so he's got really nice depth here. But just the fact that he uses this first move, the sale of the double move right here, to really set up two moves. This is basically, he's got two more moves after this. The acceleration deep is the first move, then a little head fake, and then drop of weight to get into the curl. The defender was totally buying the vertical route. It's always thinking about two extra moves. That's always a great way to go to tell a story because the defender's always anticipating the first one. Really nice work right there. I also like what Smith can do as a blocker. He has potential in this area. He's at the top of the screen here with a defender playing tight to him. This is going to be a run play. Watch him steal a release. That means that he's going to use a release move to work off the line of scrimmage deep. That allows him to see what the defender might do to defend him with certain types of footwork. And what you see here is he gives basically a two-step release after a stick to the inside. Stick inside, two steps. Then he uses the arm to basically wipe away the defender there and work downhill. But see how he then tilts into the defender and gets his hands into the defender's chest and rolls through his hips enough and keeps his feet moving to move the defender backwards. Nice transition into the block. But again, stealing the release gives him some intel against tight man coverage later in the game in terms of how to release against this guy to see how he reacts. But at the same time, he's also showing nice intensity of effort as a blocker and setting up that route to get into the defender, to close the gap, get his hands into the chest, keep them tight, and move his feet, move the defender well away from the play. Here's another display of that intensity up top here, top left. You're going to see, once again, nice little release there. Uses the hand to wipe away the defender's reach. And then works into the defender to give a nice push there. There's that little pivot. See how he kind of pivots his feet? And he's sudden with his footwork. Nice little pivot, arm over. Basically chops a hand down. See how he has that motion? It's a nice motion with the inside arm like that. Get downfield. And he's quick with his hands. I like the quickness with his hands. He's combative, quick, has a sense of urgency, and he works with the defender. Yes, the defender tries to throw him aside. Doesn't, we don't see whether that's successful from this angle. Probably is, but still, liking the effort there and the way he's setting up to square an opponent as a blocker. This is another nice display as a blocker. Top, you're going to see, let's see, where do we have him? Coming out of the backfield here. Working out of the backfield. Working up really like a bullet route up the seam. And then he tilts into the defender right here, and he uses one arm right here. As the defender works to the outside, he one-arms the defender to stay with him, keep the hand in the chest, and just run with him and basically push him out towards the boundary, which gives the running back down at the left boundary room to kind of cut back to the inside and use that block to his advantage. So you don't always have to be in the chest of the defender. You can take the defender's momentum and use it against him. and just stay with the man. And that can be very helpful to shield. And you see there's a variety of moves that he has as a press release, with releases. And you're going to see him in the middle trips here against off-coverage defender. And he's going to use a little bit of a hip shift right there to work back to the inside. Let's watch it one more time. Dives inside. And this looks like it could be a double up. Let's take a look at the outside foot. Yeah, it's a little bit more of a double up. But the shift in the hip still kind of inside out. Nice long step. Nice flat break there. He gets that toe pointed with that drive step. You'll see the long break step right there. Then you're going to see him point that inside toe right here. That gets him flat. And he's good at maintaining flat breaks as well as being sudden with his turns. Now, he can even cultivate greater suddenness when he learns how to throw back his arm that's going to be closest to the boundary and throw it back and punch it, but he still gets good snap with his turns even without that technique. And as a new receiver, a guy who's transitioned from running back, I like that here he is slot right. He does a good job working the post right here. Nice sudden turn on the post. Even flashes a little bit of handwork as the defender is about to shoot his hands right there. Works inside, sees that the quarterback is rolling to his right away from pressure and makes the sudden turn to work back towards the flag. It's just overthrown. And one of the things that I look for in a receiver, really any player, is consistency of detail, even at this early stage of their development, because if they show consistency with certain behavior, that usually tells me that they work at their craft, that they're a student of the game, or that they handle details quickly enough to become fast learners. Because you're going to see Smith here motioning across just as the ball snapped from slot left and work to his right. He's going to get tight to the corner, get downhill and inside so he can take the inside shoulder and get his hands and get a little bit of a push onto the defender's chest and just shield him off. He's very good at getting square. He's very good at consistently being able to throw his hands and keep them tight and inside and get into the chest of the defender in a variety of angles that he does this. So that's encouraging because it doesn't just apply to blocking. The fact that he's looking at details like this will translate to details as a route runner, as a pass catcher. Here's Smith slot left. You're going to see him get open in the zone. He works towards the outside, widening the path behind the release of his teammate there and pushing the outside envelope of number 5 zone coverage towards the hash, looking to him at the top of his stem. This is a manipulation technique, is to keep your eyes on the man and look to the outside or to the man until the very top of his stem, and then as he makes his break, he turns back to the inside, settles in right here, makes a catch, and immediately turns uphill. He doesn't square himself and try and make a move. He immediately gets downhill, bounces off a little bit of a hit, stays upright. This is a former running back who arrived at Texas A&M as a running back. I think he's a much better prospect as a receiver from what I've seen. I've seen him run a little bit between the tackles. Open field running is his thing, but he can translate that. The immediate transition downhill. The way he tells a story as a route runner, zone versus man. There's details there to his game. He seems reliable as a pass catcher at this point. And he can still use some of those running back skills as an open field runner. And as a former running back, it's nice to see that here in middle trips, that when he makes that little stutter move to the inside and works outside, uses the arm to shed downward, that he can track this ball over his head, over his shoulder with his back to the quarterback and make this play. So on my initial impression of Smith, I certainly like what I see. There's quickness there. There's details, both upper and lower body, using his hands, using his feet, being able to use his head to cultivate fakes, tracks the ball well, catches the ball high and low well, usually keeps his feet when he's doing it. He can transition downhill and run with the ball. Reminds me a little bit of Derrick Mason way back in the day. Derrick Mason, who played with the Tennessee Titans and Baltimore Ravens. Very skilled receiver who could work downfield, play a little bit of the possession game for you. Was started off his career as an excellent young kick returner and played a lot of years in the league at a high level. So keep an eye on Ainias Smith. He's certainly a compelling player to watch in this draft class. Thanks again for watching. For more RSP Bowling videos, you can check out my YouTube channel, Matt Waldman's RSP Film Room, and my site, www.mattwaldmanrsp.com.